Isn't this a shocking looking shoe? What's good everyone YouTube, it's me again, back with another video. And switching it back to Nike again, it's, we've got a very interesting looking shoe today. And to be 100% honest, I never thought I'd see myself ever buying a pair of Shox. I always thought it was one of those pretty disgusting looking technologies. But I've always maintained that there's no such thing as a bad shoe, only bad colorways. And I almost feel like there's no shoe that can't be saved without the correct colorway. And this happens to be the case with the shoe we have here today. So this actually was, I'm not sure if it's exactly a collaboration, but Size UK was the exclusive release area for this particular colorway of this shoe. So I'm not sure if we're going to call it the Size collaboration, but we're just going to get on with the shoe review. So today we have the Nike Shox TL in the Viotech colorway. So yeah, let's just get on with it. So with the intro out of the way, let's get into the box. So there really isn't any sort of special packaging or anything. This is your pretty standard Nike sportswear red box. So you got Nike on the top, side, other side, all that other stuff. And then when you flip it, the shoe was wrapped in pretty standard wrapping paper, and the shoes were stuffed with standard packing paper. So no extra laces, no nothing. It's pretty straightforward in terms of packaging itself, so that's why I'm not exactly sure if this is what we would call a collaboration as such. So if we read to the side, it says Nike Shox TL. Straightforward enough. So the retail price on these, at least on size.uk, I'm pretty sure it was something along the lines of like £160 shipped or something like that. I'll check my balance, find the exact figure, and put the conversion here. But from memory, it ended up being close to around 300 AUD, which is quite a lot for a pair of Shox. But to be fair, the Shox TL haven't actually re-released in Australia yet. Still waiting for them to come to Australia, but I've had a chance to see some other colorways, but this honestly was the one for me. So with the box out of the way, let's get into the shoes. And here we are. My goodness. The Nike Shox TL in the Viotech colorway. So the Viotech in the colorways code actually refers to the purple on this shoe. And apparently it's in reference to a very iconic Nike dunk that came out a long time ago. I'll flash a photo up on screen. It had a lot of colors on it, and this purple was sort of very iconic for it. And since the dunk, there was actually a Atmos Air Max 1 with that colorway as well. And I actually think they look quite nice, but they are long gone. But moving on to the Shox actually, predominantly we've got this sort of like grey mesh with also this sort of darker grey caging around the side. It actually reminds me a lot of a Nike Air Max Plus or a TN. And I really love the TN, so this ribbing texture is actually really nice in my opinion. And then if we move to the back, we've got this sort of suede patch of the Viotech colorway. And then we've got this Shox logo done in this sort of forest green. And then we've got this orange piping that runs along the back of it, as well as some orange piping on the tongue as well. And this orange piping along with some details on the toe is actually 3M reflective. So when you hit the shoe with flash, you'll actually see it pop out. And as you probably noticed on the inside of this shoe, we've actually got a red Nike swoosh. And we've got mismatched swooshes. So on this pair, we've actually got, on this side we've got the red swoosh, and then on this side we've actually got a blue swoosh. So pretty interesting if you ask me. And if we move down the shoe to the most interesting thing, we've actually got this full-length Shox setup. So from what I understand, Shox technology is basically softer sort of foam pillars, and the way that it works is that we've actually got two hard plastic sort of plates on the bottom and the top that acts as sort of like a platform or springboard for the Shox to sort of hit. And it's an interesting sensation to wear, I will say that, but visually it's I'll talk about it visually later when we get into the video. And if we look at the bottom, we've got this gum traction outsole, and we've also got this clear window that shows the Nike Shox logo again. So that pretty much covers the main features of this Viotech Nike Shox. Now, in terms of sizing, I bought these in my true to size, and I will say they seem to fit a little bit narrow, especially in the toe. If you take a look, it kind of tapers off to a point. So I would probably say if you have a narrow foot, or maybe a standard foot, I'd say go true to size. But if you have a wide foot, I'd probably say go up half a size. So these are a 9.5, I'm usually a 9.5, and they fit me okay. A little tight, but not too bad. Now, in terms of comfort, despite the fact that the Nike Shox TL I think came out back in 2002, the bottom is actually surprisingly comfortable. I expected it to be a lot worse than it actually was. The pillars actually compress quite nicely, especially in the heel, and I'd honestly say this feels a little better than like a Air Max retro model, like an Air Max 97. I actually think this feels better than like an Air Max 97. It compresses quite nicely, it's pretty stable actually. It lifts you really high off the ground, so if you're a shorter guy, you may gain a solid 2-3 centimeters or so. The upper is pretty breathable, the mesh is quite nice. Like I said before, the toe tapers really viciously, so it's a little bit narrow at the front. But we've actually got really nice padding in the sock liner. So overall, I would say, despite the fact this is a pretty old, I don't know if it was a running shoe, but old Nike silhouette, it's actually still quite nice. Now we get into the part where I talk about my opinions on this shoe. And like I alluded to earlier at the start of this video, I don't feel like there's anything that would really be considered bad footwear, except for this thing. But all shoes I feel like can be saved with the right colorway, and honestly this colorway on this exact shoe looks really beautiful in my opinion. I still really have a hard time getting used to the visual aspect of the Shox, but just the colorway itself looks really nice. The greys with the purple, and then the mismatched swooshes on the inside, as well as like this sort of orange hit. It's a really interesting colorway, and the gum outsole I feel like ties it all together really well. But visually, there's still some things that I find really odd about it. Most of all, everyone probably is gonna hate on the Shox, and I can understand it. And honestly, the top view of this shoe is probably one of the most hideous shoes I've ever seen. Because you've got this really tapered point, but then you've also got these really sort of bulbous side protrusions that are actually the forefoot shock units. And it's a really weird looking shoe, and to be 100% honest, I'm not all that sure I'm probably going to not keep these for that long. If I can move them along, I may have to, because I feel like it's a shoe I really like looking at, but on feet, they look really nice from the side. I just hate the way it looks from the top. And I mean, yes, most people won't see it from the top, but a bit of a weird egg, I will say that. However, I will say the colorway I can't take anything away from. This colorway is super hot fire if you ask me, so I'll give it that. And with that, we've come to the end of another video. So, I'd love to hear what you have to say about the Nike Shox TL in this Viotech colorway. And out of all the Nike Shox TL that have been retroing, which are your favorites? So for me, maybe you don't even have a favorite. Most people don't really like Shox. I've heard they're pretty big in Brazil for some reason, but I'm not too sure. So for me, this honestly is my favorite colorway by far. And then apparently there's a new Neymar collaboration with black and gold. You can't go wrong with black and gold, so I'd probably say that's my second favorite. But I'd love to hear what you have to say. Like the video if you like the video, dislike the video if you dislike the video, and if you're into more sneaker content and that sort of thing, consider subscribing to the channel. I'm always trying to review new shoes and things, and maybe shoes that I've had for a while, but always trying to put out content. And I'll catch you guys in another video. Yeah, these things are ugly, but they're still fire. Don't hate.